Hey guys, welcome to another edition of the show. I'm your host, Nation Oano. In case you are new and you're watching us for the first time, make sure you follow our previous conversations on the channel. In the last AFCON tournament that took place early this year, we had a lot of conversation and we're giving you some of the highlights of the ongoing AFCON tournament. We gave you a step-to-step breakdown of the AFCON tournament, some of the teams that stood out for us. And we are here once again to talk about matters AFCON. And today we're going to be talking about the AFCON qualifiers. And I'm joined on set today with our resident African football analyst, that is Lenje, it's nice to have you on the show once again.
Sure. Always good to be here talking about African football. Nothing interests as African football. And we are here for the qualifiers once again. 2023 is here. We are going to Abidjan. Let's see.
Yeah. Time has really moved very fast. You remember, it was just in January, January to February, we were talking about AFCON. We took like a short break. And apparently this is like one of the times that we are having a back-to-back qualifiers just immediately after the AFCON tournament. How do you think this particular dimension is going to affect the players in the AFCON tournament?
I think most of the players have had a very busy season, especially those playing their trade in the European leagues. The season has been so long, packed games, and so we can expect to see some fatigue in some players. Others will be on form because they played so many games, so they should be ready to go. But especially for those playing across Europe, you can feel there's some kind of fatigue. Some of them are struggling to get form. They don't have that clear rhythm in the game. And this is when some small teams can take advantage of the giants. If they really play well, they can take that advantage.
Speaking of sport teams, I think we'll never ever get over the fact that Gambia stood out in the AFCON tournament early this year. There was Gambia, we were talking about Comoros as well. Those are some of the teams.
Leon, Cape Verde, so many of them. And for a team like Gambia, yes, they are minnows. They came into the AFCON as debutants. They did well, and I told you that going by their performance, I expect them to dominate the group stages. So despite them really going through the knockout phases for them to qualify to the groups, they're doing well. They won their first game. They're going to play the second game against the Red Devils of Congo, and I'm really expecting a good game from Gambia. Good players, good coach, good squad. They have huge confidence in them at the moment, and I expect to see Gambia doing much better in the group phases.
Just before we talk about the pre-match and the post-analysis of the games, there are a couple of things that are emerging issues in the African football. I know we are supposed to be talking about this later on, but I feel like it's important for us to talk about it. Apparently, there's been a lot of move of players born outside Africa that are now switching their citizenship back into the country. What do you think is the contributing factor to that? Why now?
Of course, it is because they want to play the World Cup. whatever they are playing, they cannot get the chances to represent their countries. If you talk about guys like Edin Ngetia, Arsenal, Odoi, the likes of Ademola Lookman, they know that yes, they are good players, but they don't have chances for their nation. So Africa gives them a second chance to have the international cups, international experience, and play in a World Cup. And for me, my biggest problem is that they don't want to play in the African tournaments. They don't want to play in the AFCON. They only want to play in the World Cups, which is sends a very wrong message. We saw these things with the likes of Prince Boateng when they were he was turning up for Ghana. He could only come for World Cup, and he didn't want to play in the AFCON. So it really begs the question: how comes you want to play for this country in the World Cup? You don't want to play for this country in AFCON. Why? Yeah, it's a big question. And I really thank Cameroon. The Cameroon affair has really stood firm on this. There was a time when some of their big players refused to come play in the AFCON. You remember in 2017, and Cameroon went on to win that tournament minus the elite players who are playing in Europe. And from then, they really departed from this notion of convincing African players to come back and win cups in Africa. They left the likes of Matip out of the team completely. They've never been called back to the team. And Cameroon, you can see it's doing good with their homegrown players who are born in Yaoundé, born in Cameroon. Yes, they might have had the chances to play in Europe, but they were born in Cameroon. And they're really doing good with those players. And I think that is where we need to focus a lot. We should not be, these FAs should not be worshipping players who are coming from Europe.
Worshipping personalities, so to speak.
Sure. It's more of worshipping the personalities. Because these are guys who don't want to be part of Africa, but they want to represent Africa on the world stage. Yeah.
Shilenje, without further much ado, I think it's time for us to switch to the matter of the day. And just before we get to bring back Shilenje, the games that are being played, that were played in the AFCON qualifiers yesterday. Yesterday we had Senegal versus Rwanda. The game ended 1-0 in favor of Senegal, courtesy of a solitary goal from none other than the Liverpool star, that is Sadio Mane. Then we had Zambia versus Comoros. The game ended 2-1 in favor of Zambia. Cape Verde versus Togo. The game ended 2-0. And then the other games that are going to be coming up, we're going to be talking about that. Shilenje, Senegal versus Rwanda, the game that was played yesterday. One thing that is very consistent with this Senegal team, despite the fact that they've already qualified for the World Cup, one thing that the Senegalese team seems to be struggling with is finding the back of the net. When they find a team that has a solid defense, then they're not able to convert. The only thing that comes to their aid is the penalties, which they seem to be getting every now and then. Going into the World Cup, later on this year, how do you think that particular dimension might play against Senegal?
I think they really need to improve. They need to improve in terms of converting their chances. They have no excuses on that front because their team is really balanced. You look at the attacking force, the likes of Sadio Mane, the likes of Ismail Sarr, the likes of Dedu. They have a talented pool of players in the midfield. Look at Idrissa Gana Gueye. You look at Naples Mendy. They have good players. The defense, Mendy, Kalidou Koulibaly, Salisu Ciss, they have a very balanced team. And I don't know why they seem struggling, especially against the Minos, I can say so. Because when they play Rwanda, I expect them just to win clearly.
Yeah, actually for me, I expected more than even one goal. It was like 3 or 4 goals. But that wasn't seen.
And they were playing home. Yeah. They were playing home. So it's homework for Aliou Cisse, the manager. He needs to find a free-flowing Senegal. We need to see the Senegal of the likes of Diouf, who used to break apart defenses easily and score goals. And Mane, Sarr, they're doing better for their clubs in Europe. They need to transform that form back home and get more goals. But with the way they are playing against the African teams, they will really struggle in terms of finding goals when they go to the World Cup, because if you can't score 2-3 goals against Rwanda in World Cup, you're facing Brazil, you're facing Uruguay,
Italy, teams that are pacey,
very defensive. How do you get goals if you can't find them back at home? And even going by the earlier games, you saw the AFCON final against Egypt. It was a draw. The World Cup qualifier against Egypt, again, it was a draw. So, to me, Senegal, yes, they are a good team. They are the best in Africa at the moment, even going by the FIFA rankings. But they need to do more in terms of finding the net. The final third of the game, they need to do more.
They really have a very experienced coach / player who understands the Senegal football and has been in that particular space for the longest time. Going into the World Cup, which aspects do you think they need to improve? Because you mentioned there is the last half, the front, the striking, the final third, the striking. Which players do you think will change that dimension for them? Because for some reason I feel there's a lot of over-reliance on Sadio Mane. If Sadio Mane is not there, then seems like things might go haywire for them.
I think it has to do much with their mentality. They need to change their mentality. They cannot be looking around Mane, because if you find a game that Mane cannot unlock, if you find a game that Mane is man-marked, you need to find another solution. And it's not that they don't have players. They have Dedu, they have Bamba Dieng, they have the likes of Ismail Sarr. They can even use these midfielders, Naples Mendy, they have Gana Gueye. They can use these midfielders so that they play a style which allows both of the players to thrive. Because most of the Senegal goal, there's no Senegal goal scored by a defender. I've not seen that. So Cisse can find a system that involves the whole system, where these defenders can score, they can assist, so that they reduce the burden on Mane. Because going by what they're playing at the moment, there will be a time when he can't. Maybe he's fatigued or is overmarked and he cannot produce the results. So that means Senegal has been locked, and that will be a one-man team. So they need to, the Cisse needs to find another system that will allow both of his players to thrive, a free-flowing, free attacking, and in that sense, it means he can open up the defense, that they can concede, yes, but score. If you look at the way Ghana plays, the way Nigeria plays, free-flowing football. They can concede, but they'll outscore you. Because their system is allowing every player to score, every player to play, and that is what Ghana needs to do.
I really fear for a team like Senegal to become like a team like Portugal or Argentina. There's so much over-reliance on Lionel Messi, there's so much over-reliance on Cristiano Ronaldo, to the sense that if they're not there, then the whole team, nothing is going to happen. I hope that, as you mentioned, Senegal do something going into the World Cup. They're going to be our representatives at the World Cup, so it's definitely important for them to find that,
they need to. And for me, I don't expect any kind of excuses for Senegal at the World Cup. I don't. I want to see them at the second leg, the round of 16, and possibly proceeding all the way to the quarters and semis. I don't need any excuse from Senegal. Like the last time they were thrown out in terms of fair play, where they tied with was it Japan? Yes, they tied with Japan in everything. Goals scored, goals conceded, and they went out on fair play that they conceded more yellow cards than Japan, which was a bit unfair. Yes, but I think they could have done better to avoid that. Yeah. So I don't want any excuse from Senegal this time round. They just need to get it right.
So Aliou Cisse, Sadio Mane, message from our resident African football analyst: you have no reason to complain. All we want is for us to see getting into the latter stages of the competition. Shilenje, switching gears into the games that are going to be played, that is Congo versus Gambia. I just wanted us to look at the pre-match analysis. And the following are just some of the few facts that you need to understand about Congo versus Gambia. Congo have been winless in their last 4 Africa Cup of Nations qualification games, losing 2 and claiming 2 draws since a 2-0 victory over 10-man Eswatini back in 2020. Congo have had 4 losses, 2 draws in 6 games, and Gambia has had 3 wins, 1 loss, 2 draws in 6 games. That's quite a record that really speaks for itself. Congo going into this particular game look as they appear to be as the underdogs, and you are really not doing well as a team when somebody looks at you as an underdog when you're playing against a new entrance into the AFCON team, and that is the AFCON tournament, that is Gambia. What do you make of this particular tie? Any particular dimensions that you think might work for or against these 2 teams?
I think first of all for Red Devils, the Congo shall be playing at home. Going by the experience and their earlier meetings, they met twice, only met twice in the AFCON competitions. Those were the qualifiers whereby Congo has won 1 and they've drawn 1, yes. So Gambia is winless against Congo, and Congo is at home. And something you need to understand with the African game is that getting points away from home is the most difficult thing for any team, for any manager. Regardless of how you're playing. So that one gives a head start to the Red Devils because they shall be playing at home. And I don't think Gambia, with a good game, the good confidence, are able to get 3 points at Congo. That will be a very, very big ask from the Gambian side. But nonetheless, Gambia is also a good side. You can see the rise of many good talents from the Gambian side. If you're talking about Musa Barrow, if you're talking about Ebrima Dabro, there's so many of good talents from Gambian side. They won their first game against Lesotho, and I'm expecting them to give Congo a good run for their money. But Congo should get a good result. Their performance has not been good in their previous matches. Having gone, 3 games, they have not won at home for the last 3 games, which is not a good start going to this game. But I think it should be a wake-up call, and they need to get a positive result. A draw can be better for Congo, better for Gambia. They'll be leading the group with 4 points, and it's a good game to watch. It's a good game to watch.
Interesting you mentioned Musa Barrow. Musa Barrow has scored 5 goals in 7 games. Do you think he's going to be the person who's going to make the whole difference in this particular game?
He has to. You're talking about Musa Barrow, Ebrima Jallo, Dabro, who else? They're good talents into the team. And Musa Barrow has been very lethal for Bologna this season in Serie A. You see the fans are singing his name. So when he comes back to Africa, and his performance at the AFCON shows you that this is a player who's ready to compete at a bigger stage. He's a calm player before in front of goal. He's able to give an assist or even score by himself. So he shall be a very big asset to Gambia. However, there is a guy from Congo. Actually, it's called Guy Mbenza, playing for Wydad Casablanca. He just won the African Champions League. Very hot striker, and I think is going to provide a problem for Gambia. Their coach, that is Tom Saintif, he need to be very, very wary of this Mbenza guy, who is very top striker. He's going to carry the Congo side, and I don't think Congo can lose this game. It's likely to go for a draw. Yeah, it will be a fair result for both of these teams into these games. But make no mistake, Gambia is a team to watch in that group. Yeah, it's likely going to dominate the group. Even if they don't get a win today, if they get a draw, they're still going to dominate that group. Yeah.
Well, if you're new to the channel, make sure you let us know what you think about what we've talked about. There is a Gambia versus Congo game that is going to be played. Let us know what you think. We have your predictions. I mean, we've already said it's a hotly contested match. Do you agree with those sentiments? Make sure you leave your comments down below. And in case you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channels. With commercial break, we'll be back with much more with relation to the ongoing AFCON qualifiers. See you after the break.